Don't have a cow, man.
Only shooting stars break the mold.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Brawl Stars. I'm Amy the Amazonian, and today we're making big old oxen with Bonny Pall Clearcutter. This knockoff Paul Bunyan is a big, simic, ramping creature that comes with Bo the Cow. This is an incredibly good card because it gives you two bodies on the field, one of which grows based on a number of lands, and also card draw and ramp. Whenever a creature attacks, it doesn't have to be Bonny, it can be any creature. You get to draw a card and then put a land into play from either your hand or your graveyard, which means that we want to put lands in our graveyard. And the way we do that is with sacrificing lands by using Polluted Delta, Flooded Strand, and Prismatic Vista, Fabled Passage, all of the fetch lands that are really worth running. We also have the automatic fetching land, Broker's Hideout, just because sometimes you want to get two triggers all at once. And speaking of triggers, all of these fetch lands mean that this deck goes great with Landfall. We have Landfall that helps us ramp off Lotus Cobra, Nissa, and the Tireless Provisioner. We can get cards and card advantage through Tireless Tracker. We can get even more lands off with Weaver Pawk. And of course, we can double up all those abilities with the Ancient Green Warden. This is a very, very good deck because it takes the best part of green, which is ramp, and the best part of blue, which is drawing cards and protecting yourself with a couple key counter spells, puts them together, and allows you to cast extremely high-cost, powerful creatures easily. Bonny Pall is really just a very good deck. I think that this is one of those decks that Simic is already incredibly strong in this format, and because she does so many different things, it puts her in a pretty good spot to play against all the other decks that happen to be around in the Brawl queue. So we're going to take Bonny Pall into the queue, and we're going to chop down some trees. Jasoth, Sun's Avatar, a big Dinos deck. So this hand has Counterspell, and then it has some ramp afterwards. I'm willing to keep this because we have a fetch land for turn 1, which will let me grab my Surveil land, which I can then use to look at the top card of my deck and maybe put it into the graveyard. Let's see. Hedge Maze. Okay, that's actually a turn 2 ramp spell. They said hello, so I'll hit them with a howdy. Howdy, Rune Flinger. Could hold this counter spell, but I would far rather get myself a forest. Since they're a big dino deck, the things that are going to be scariest from them are the things that are going to happen in the middle of the game. Things like their commander. When their commander hits us, based on the amount of damage it does, they're going to get lots and lots of cards. A Provisioner here into Island. That gets me 2 mana, holding in the counter spell again. This lets them exile from graveyards. They could technically, like, hit the lands, but also lets them recast dinosaurs from their graveyards by exiling them. Migration Path. I will counter that. So that's just getting them 2 lands. But that amount of ramp right here, I think, would put them a little bit ahead of me, and I just don't want that to happen. I could go for Bonny Pall this turn. That sounds pretty good to me. And since we have that fetch land in the graveyard, we swing in, we draw a card, and we bring back the Polluted Delta, which gets us a bunch of landfall triggers. The Tireless Provisioner is such a nutty good card. We have Modern Horizons 3 coming to Arena soon, and honestly, Modern Horizons 2 should be enough of a scar for all of us to remember us. Let's go ahead and spelunk. More lands, please. This is going to let all of our lands come in untapped. I'll throw down Otawara, get myself another treasure, and already, Bo is a 7/7. Also, we have a Tail's End, in case of Legends. Like that one! Pantlaza! There's no Pantlaza. There's never been a Pantlaza. I'll play the Grove. I guess we swing in. That's a lot of damage. GG. Garuda, Doom of Depths. Mills both players and then reanimates from among the milled cards. Garuda is a really cool commander because you get to play your cards and your opponent's cards. Well, at least I think that's cool. It's also blinkable, clonable, and in general, a very fun card to just go off with. I am going to choose to explore here rather than holding up the counter spell. Ooh, and that X4 paid off. We got Utopia Sprawl here. I'll make it so my Hedge Mage now taps for 2 green. Guardian Idol. They got a little bit of ramp. 1, 2, 3, 4, up to 5. Going to hold up the counter spell in case they get another good big ramp spell. And then go for Bonny Pall next turn. This deck can only get even-costed creatures, but there's a lot of really good even-costed creatures. Hostage Takers, Noxious Gear Hulk. Almost every single clone card is also 4 mana. Are there any landfall shenanigans in my deck? Yep, that's what the Green Warden's for. So this freebooter is going to be able to exile the counterspell out of my hand. So I'd rather just try to counter the freebooter. I'll pay some life. So they can't see what I've got. Let's see if this gets countered. There's a chance. Oh, Bonnie lives! Comes with a cow. Play the Botanical Sanctum. I already have lands in my graveyard, so I don't feel like I have to put one in my graveyard with the Broker's Hideout. And since somebody will probably ask, does Ancient Green Warden get you 2 lands off Broker's Hideout? No, this is a reflexive trigger, so the land has to be the one sacrificed to get the land. No, they thought of that. Phyrexian Metamorph. There's a 4-mana clone, and they get a Bonny Pall too! But we have way more lands than them, so my bow, bigger than their bow. And they ate her. Okay. Would have also eaten a token. Lotus Cobra. Couple of lands. Couple of landfalls. This will let me play lands from my graveyard. And, I'm already big enough to block with these other guys, so yeah, bow's going in. That's 7 damage. Could double block, they're not going to. Great. With 1 more land, they can play their commander. Now, they can guarantee getting a land here. If they attack with Bow or Bonnie, fake Bow or fake Bonnie, they can get this Bloodstained Mire back. Getting back the Bloodstained Mire from the graveyard, or putting an extra land into hand from this draw, will get them to 6. And once they're at 6, Garuda can have a field day. Wonder if they've got something here. Sultran's Edict. Yeah, I'll drop the Cobra. Like, listen, Landfall's great. Landfall gets me tons of mana. But sometimes you just want power. The power of the cow. So now they can't cast Garuda. I'm gonna keep the original bow. Swing in with both. Though they could animate the Guardian Idol to block. I don't think that'd be too silly. Grab more basics. I don't have need to hold up 2 mana here since I don't have a 2-mana spell. Or I would have gone for the Flooded Strand. Or even a land from hand. Do they go to 1? Sure do. 1 life remains. They don't have any pain lands, though. So they don't have to worry about that being a cause for life loss. Dinrova Horror bounces something to my hand and I discard. Thankfully, we have very discardable cards. Lands. Because we could just play him again with the Green Warden. Remember how I said you just end up with horrible amounts of mana in this deck? Horrible, atrocious, unbelievable amounts of mana. They have no blockers, we swing in, and we win. GG, Garuda. Tatyova, Benthic, Druid. Looks like both of us are doing a little bit of landfall ramp this game. I have ramp on turn 1. Sort of ramp on turn 2 if I can get some more lands in hand. Okay. Their landfall, draw a card, gain a life. We also have Tatyova in this deck, and I wonder if they have Bonny Pall in theirs. Since you can get them additional lands into play in a turn. I can't use this ability to put the Tangled Veil into play, or I would. Oh, look at that! More lands! I could hold open the Memory Lapse. I think it's better for me to just ramp some more. Gives me 4 mana. And we drew a 5th! Nice. Do I want to play the Kellen? I gotta go for the potential ramp off this. Also protected by the counterspell, which is nice. Ooh, yeah, we're gonna go ahead and throw that back on top of your deck. Swing for 2. That way, if they don't have another land in hand, like they drew a counterspell, so they have none, but it comes in tapped, Argoth. We know that they have a counterspell. It's actual factual counterspell. Hello there, Tatyova. Would you like to counter my Kellen? Would you like to save it for Bonny Pall next turn? They have let Kellen come into play. I'll attack just with the Kami of Bamboo Groves. We could have a growth spiral here. Joint Exploration, very similar. They didn't kick it though, so they can't use this to get a land into play. But it can still like scry, organize, get them to whatever they happen to need. Whether that's a mass bounce spell because they're like, oh gosh, they've got too many permanents out. More ramp, trying to accelerate to Tatyova. We'll have to wait and find out. Castle Vantress comes in. And Shigeki! I'm going to draw a card. Nice forest. I will play the Bonny Pall with the full understanding that she will be countered. Playing the tapped land and swinging in with Kellen. There's nothing for Kellen to destroy here. This is an enchantment, not an artifact. Kellen loves smashing artifacts, though. Oh, I'm being asked. Kellen's story, I would say, is at least temporarily over with the end of Thunder Junction. He showed up in a whole lot of sets in the past year and a half, and he found his dad. His dad doesn't like him, so now he's just hanging out with Brawl over in Ravnica. Now, I don't actually know if Kellen will or will not show up again soon. We'll find out. I could attack with the Restless Vinestalk here to shrink this token. Or I could just play Bonny. We make ourselves an Ox, and I'm going to attack with the Kami of Bamboo Groves just to get Bonny's trigger. I don't have any lands in the graveyard, but I do have one in hand, and I'll put it into play. Now your tree token is very mighty. Yeah, I don't know when we'll see Kellen again. We could see him in Bloomburrow. I don't think we will. But if he does, maybe he'll be a cute little animal. What animal do you think Kellen would be? He looks kind of mousy to me. He can be a mouse. That is a lot of lands in hand, and this Ren and 7 can put those all into play. And I can also put all these back into their hand. They're cycling the Lonely Sandbar. They didn't have any 1-mana counter spells. Even if they did, I could pay the 2 off like a Spell Pierce. I'll actually leave back the Tangled Forahedron just in case I get a 2-drop. On our card draw here. Cool, it's a land. I'll put it into play. Boom, boom, pow. Yeah, it's not quite lethal. You think he could be a squirrel? He could be a squirrel. I'm very happy that I know myself well enough to know that if I were on Bloomburrow, I would be a raccoon. I'm just a trash-loving, trash-eating, silly little guy. That was very much a Nissa for 0 loyalty. A very fancy way to concede. Get an extra cast or 2 for your daily quest. GG, Tatyova. Nahiri, Forged in Fury. She is an equipments deck. The more equipments you have, the less she costs. And whenever you attack in with an equipped creature, you get free equipment. Well, you get, like, impulse draws, but if the impulse draw happens to hit an equipment, it's free! We love free spells here. I also love Bristly Bill. He's a really good new landfall card. Do I feel like ramping? Probably. This way it's like, oh yeah, I'm holding a counter spell. The sorcery is not legendary. Helen grabs them. Colossus Hammer! Somebody wants to equip it for free. It's me, I want to equip it for free. Here comes Bill. A land, a counter. I could ramp, or I could prepare myself for that Kellen that's coming and... Ramp versus Kellen versus ramp versus Kellen versus ramp versus Kellen. I ain't afraid no Kellen. I'm ramping. I'll simply make a bigger bill than their Kellen. They'd have to find a way to equip this for free. Oh, well, there, we found it. It's Sigarda's Aid. But see, I wouldn't have been able to Tails End something this turn anyway. Bill grows. I'm gonna go for the Loam Speaker. Swiftfoot Boots. Equipping the boots. For maximum game action. Bill attacks for 5. Landfall, get a counter. Can double counters too. Nice. So Sigarda's Aid gives all of their auras and equipments flash. And it also lets things equip for free. So, sure. You swing in. I'm not going to bother blocking because the hammer gets countered. Well, not the hammer itself, but the automatic equip of it, because now they have to find another way to do it, because it costs 8. Well, it's a big rebel. Boop. Bonny. Bonny with a little extra. Oh, look at that, a land. I'm gonna save this cracking open the Windswept Heath. Figure out who I need to buff. I guess I could have also, like, cracked it open just to move the boots onto Bo. You can counter abilities? You can, depending on what the card is. Looks like they're going to be giving up. I think we just had enough mana and enough power and the ability to double power. Wait a minute. Also, I also had a Hall of Storm Giants. They didn't know about the trample. This gives trample. GG, Nahiri. Yuri, Master of the Review. And a counterspell. Yes, I could counter their commander, but I'd rather ramp. Yuri, Master of the Review, is a Rakdos Sacrifice commander. Gets bigger based on the number of things that are sacrificed. And whenever he dies, you deal damage equal to his power to any target. There we go. There's a little bit of ramp. I'll go ahead and throw back these booties. And I'll just use the Broker's Hideout right away, rather than save it for the Lotus Cobra, because there's nothing I'd be able to follow up with for the Cobra. One command tower. One snake. Now this just might die. They're in Rakdos colors. They could bolt it. They could spike field it. They could fatal push it. They could innocent blood it. All of that and more. All of that and more. Hey there, Liliana. I couldn't counter that since it was from their hand. We were forced to sacrifice our elf. I am going to do this right away, even though it cuts me off from my wash away, because if I got a 2-drop that I could play, I would probably put it in. We do have a lot of 1- and 2-drop ramp spells, too, and getting to Bonny Pall mana is very big. I'll just do that. And I think I'm going to have to drop the Great Henge just because we're so far away, like, mana-wise. How the Brawl's going? Brawl-alicious!
We all have things we
Hi, Uro! Ooh. Yeah. I'm going to name Giant. Suddenly all this discard doesn't seem so bad, since it's feeding my graveyard. Tatyova will be discarded. Oh no. That's fine. Bye, Tatyova!
I'm tired of your secrets.
This is a giant, this is a giant. You can name Giant or Scout with this. Kind of depends on what you have. Specifically leaving the land in the graveyard for Bonnie. Since I don't have any landfall abilities, I think I'd rather drop a Shia than Primeval Titan. They also might just minus here. Like, yeah, get rid of the recurable big creature. Oh, or take it. Uro is, in fact, a 3-mana creature, so Claim the Firstborn works. They get to draw a card, they can put a land into play. Which also, like, yeah, that's 6 damage, that's a lot. What if they have a Fling? Ooh, please Fling. Stalactite Stalker. I'll discard a Shia.
Don't overthink things.
Fling. But a single... Oh, nope, we got Uro back. Oh, Liliana's Triumph.
From battle to the grave.
And because they had a Liliana, I also had to discard. How rude. Well, hand empty, head empty. As it goes, I'll pay some life because I can. Oh, I could bring out Uro again. No, I gotta go for Bonnie. The big, the bon, the beautiful. Bonny Pall has been stolen. Is Bo getting sacrificed? Yep. Bo be gone.
I've always hated crowds.
We get hit for a lot of damage once again. All these active treason effects. I've got 1 mana. Didn't have a way to stop that. Let's go for Uro. Yeah, I'll go for Uro. No, I'm gonna attack first. Attack first, then Uro. Because I have this automatic sacrificing land. Or a fetch. My life total's low enough, but like since I'm not drawing anything, kind of give or take. Okay, they're letting me hit Lily.
Oh, that's my cue to
So much thievery. One of the finest things you can do in this game. Crime. Boop, 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 boop. I have another fetch land here. See what we draw. Oh, Pock. Hawk is a menace. We play the Wooded Foothills. We get a copy of it from Hawk. And then I can make another copy of the fetched land next turn. Okay, what do you bring back? What is Grishnak? Grishnak can gain control of a target non-legendary creature an opponent controls with power less than or equal to the amassed army's power. So, none of these. This gets them a token that they can sacrifice and also gives all their creatures menace. Right? Oh, sorry, I was thinking the other area. Yes, so they're going to active treason the Hawk. I assume attack with it. Ooh, I should have gone for the Surveil land. That would have been spicy. That will force a block from Uro. This deals 2 damage. I already played a land this turn. Oh. Sure. Yeah, I dropped Bonnie. Move my commander straight to the command zone. 2 mana open. Cost 3 to sacrifice this to Scry. What do you have? Eaten alive! They're going to exile Uro. Nice. They have lethal next turn off Angrath's plus ability and the attack in. So let's see if we can find a way to stabilize here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah. I'm gonna keep Emrakul on top. And we'll see what they draw. Okay, so let's see. That's Razaketh. And Krishnak. Go to combat. Attack. Block. Decline. 2 damage to Angrath.
I've weathered tougher storms than you.
I'm alive. One life and a dream. GG. Anax, Hardened in the Forge. I actually almost never see him as commander, but he's a very good mono-red commander because he gives you resilience against board wipes. Also, a creature that grows based on your devotion. The more red pips you have between your creatures, your permanents, anything like that, the more Anax hits for. I don't have any turn 1 ramp here, but I'll take a turn 1 fetch into another fetch. I'll just put that in a graveyard. When I was like, ooh, I could double ramp. Or I could just double ramp anyway. Botanical Sanctum. Am I feeling killing? I feel something that can block. Landward Loam Speaker. When this dies, it deals power, or damage equal to its power. A Forest. Tail the Suspect. Play additional lands. Armored Scrap Gorger. I'm ramping. Anax, a 3-mana 3/3 enchantment creature currently. Giant. Big snake. I'll take the Polluted Delta out. Leave myself with the Prismatic Vista. So yeah, that's a coma. I know I could have played Bonny Pall, but that's a coma. It's gonna make a snake every turn. Sorry, serpent. Ooh, Torbran! This increases both their devotion and their power, getting everything to hit for an additional 2 damage. Hey, Bonnie! No. Don't tap the Scrap Forger. Vista in play. Ooh. Doppelganging Anax to make 1,000,000 satyrs. Oh, that sounds so fun! Grab a forest for this Tangled Forahedron. And I am taking that last land out of my graveyard, so I don't have one to bring back with Bonnie, but I think that's fine. Price of loyalty! Sure. Hey, Bonnie! Bonnie's not red, so her damage isn't increased. Tap Anax. Tap the Fireblade Charger. And tap Bonnie. If you want to sacrifice your Torbran, you can. Or you know, not draw a card and get a land. There is a thud that they could have for like 1 red mana. Alright, so Torbran's coming in. They get a land. You got a big bolt. Bo throws himself in the way. Takes 4 from a play with fire. Torbran is dead. And they get a satyr. And then we attack in and kill them. So we got damage. Ooh, also a time warp. GG. Muldrotha the Gravetide lets you recast spells and play permanents from your graveyard. This hand has a little bit of ramp, but we can't actually use it. It's got a goose and it's got Bristly Bill. I think that this is a kind of like a 50-50 on a hand I want to keep. I will keep it, but that's for the goose. Because I love and respect this goose. Delighted happening. They got ramp on turn 1. Nice to see it for them. And use this Broker's Hideout to get myself another green source. Because this gives me Bill on turn 2 into the Topiary Stomper on turn 3. The Halfling attacks. She does crave violence. Things she does. Make your legends uncounterable and crave blood. Oh no, Bill is gone. That's too bad. R.I.P. Bill. He was gonna put counters on things. Ooh, Oracle of Moldiah. Let them play additional lands. We know they have a Casualties of War on top of their deck. I could shuffle it away. Using this beside you. Yeah. I'm gonna go X equals 2 on the Goose Mother. And I'm going to hit Port of Carfell, which is a reanimation land. And they'll grab, I assume, their Triome. Now they can still get the 6 mana, but the card on top of their deck is not any longer as scary. It's not Casualties of War. A Hat of Media, thank you for the 4-month resub. Mind a Stone. Do you mind? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Ooh. Oh, that's still gonna get rid of all our creatures. Or they could plus. No, okay, bye Oracle, bye Halfling. Getting that cultivator in hand. I don't have enough to attack with the hull this turn. I like going for Bonny just because of this like sacrifice protection of having 2 big creatures out. Don't get a trigger from her here, but that's fine. And I also do have 2 lands in a graveyard.
Good help is easy to find in war.
Blighted Halflings back. Yeah, I'll go for Tatyova. I want some card draw. Both of you swinging at Lily. I think I kind of want that Fabled Passage from my hand, actually. It lets me do an additional spell this turn. So they can replay Liliana from the graveyard.
Ugh, looks like you're on your own now.
But that's okay. Because I have got some card advantage. Ooh, wait. Shauna's Tidebender. Okay, so, like, I was gonna play you, but... That's a Tishana's Tidebender. Which, notably, can counter abilities. So, would you like to use that minus ability?
Just surrender right now.
Tishana's Tidebender lashing in. The ability doesn't go off. She loses all abilities until Tidebender leaves play. They could still recast a creature from their graveyard. Demon's Disciple would make us both sacrifice. Okay, Liberator. You could sacrifice that to destroy artifacts and enchantments. Or if it becomes nighttime, they just attack in with it. This actually feels pretty worth it to me to slow them down a turn. She gets her abilities back. After it's dead. Provisioner? Do I feel like I'm playing the tracker this turn? No, I think we're going to be going for Vorinclex. Swinging these 2 at Lily. Having that Fabled Passage for more treasure. I wonder if I could Emrakul, actually. That's a good question. How much ding-dang mana do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh my gosh, I have enough mana. Parish Provisioner. You're kind of a nuts card. Right? Oh no, I'm 1 short. Sorry, I'm 1 short. So here's Vorinclex. I guess I'll get that out. I'm wide. They get a zombie. They could replay Muldrotha, but I think it would almost use up everything they've got. Griffer's Rebuke isn't a real card. It is a very real card. We don't have it in this deck, but I am running Cyclonic Rift. They could also reanimate something with Port of Carfell. Right, Nantuckle's Slicer gets them a copy of a card from their graveyard and my graveyard. Actually, returns to hand and then makes a copy. What do you make a copy of? Tatyova? Maybe Tidebender? Okay, Tatyova. Hey, Tatyova. Is it time for lands? Cool Bauble. I think Bauble's very cute in a Muldrotha deck because it's just like, yeah, draw a card. Recur for free every turn. These. Those. Getting more lands. Ooh, a henge. A great henge. Just taking game actions. Don't mind me. Oh, so many lovely triggers. Taking out the Provisioner. Shump blocking Bew. Bow? Yeah, bow. But Lily's gone. We deal damage to their face, and they'll draw more cards. A great henge. A very good henge. Emrakul. Also, I should have flipped over Vorinclex first, because it would put more card types in my graveyard. Oh, there's my trample. This is great, too. Now, we'll see how much trouble I can cause with their cards. I imagine the answer is a lot. I get to take their next turn. Might sacrifice that Terramorphic Expanse and fail to find. You might want to crack it open now. I wouldn't put it past me to do something like that. I also have a counter spell, so I could intentionally counter one of their things. Alright, let's see. Witherbloom Command. Oh, I could Disdainful Stroke one of their own things, too. Yes, that is how I would like you to tap. Making sure it wasn't using the, Blighted Halfling for it. Combat. Boop. Yep, that seems fine. Choose two to discard. Cultivator. You have too much text. Demon's Disciple. I have taken their turn. They have a lot of lands in hand. They could Port of Carfell their commander back. Not sure if it would save them. Because, you know, cool. Mind Stone. They dig a little deeper. They do not find whatever it is that they would need to survive this. GG. Ashiok Dreamrender is actually incredibly good against us because it stops us from searching our library. And you know what fetch lands do? They search your library. Also, can exile my graveyard to prevent me from getting back lands from the grave. Ashiok, you know what you're doing, and what you're doing is stopping a lot of my game plan. Thankfully, we have some nice non-fetch lands in hand. So I'll see if we can get some ramp going with the Armored Scrap Gorger. Get the little guys, the Phyrexian Beast. I don't actually know what to expect from this Ashiok. Like, this could just be a Dimir control deck. And that's kind of my guess is, this is Dimir control that happens to have a commander that is graveyard hate and very, very punishing against decks that are fetching a lot. Ooh, Orb. I will lose life. Huh, or tie. Cool. Bring out Nissa. Landfall will get me a mana. We get 2 landfalls in a turn. She will also get us an elf or elemental from our deck. Like this one. Soul Shattered. Never mind, she's dead. That was short. One to the top, one to the bottom. I'm gonna lose more life. I love losing life. Pass the turn. We don't actually have anything to do here since they destroyed our stuff so thoroughly. Invasion of Amonkhet. They will draw. We will mill and we will discard. I'll drop the Yavimaya Coast. And now I'm going to start letting them draw. I was secretly hoping I might get the Cavern of Souls here. So I could play a Shire, or I could Time Warp to try to draw one more. I will go for this Time Warp. If they have a counter spell, like, they probably won't use it. Because I'm using it as a, oh, I'm going to untap and get more mana. Okay, so I failed to get mana. I could have, like, Doppelgang made one copy of one thing. I don't need that. We want to cast Doppelgang for, like, X equals 3. Doppelgang, by the way, has been an all-star in this deck. I've had so much fun with it. Oh, they had an Orcish Bowmasters. Me drawing cards results in little guys. And, oh, bye, Ashaya. Ashaya's gonna die, yeah.
Haven't you ever heard of personal space?
No, I haven't, Liliana. I haven't heard of personal space. I'm all up in her face. I'll choose to lose life because I'm brave. That put me to 3. Sometimes you just really want to, you know, see what happens. I don't have anything I can attack with here. Too brave, too brave. No, they bounced my token. Hey, Ashiok. How you doing? Hi, Teferi. This is the Teferi that makes a token that grows with card draw.
I will defend the past.
I actually think I dropped the Doppelgang here.
Don't overthink things.
I could also drop the Green Warden. Yeah, I'll drop Green Warden. Yeah, draw a card. It'll be a last. This gets a counter, this gets a loyalty. Bonnie, swinging in. I'll aim at you, Lily. We draw a card. We're gonna get just the basic forest out from the grave. Orcish Bowmaster is gonna snipe my face. Behold! A Titan of Industry! I will... Do I want to gain life or do I want to make a guy? I'm gonna make a guy. Destroying the orb. And we can either get an animatable land, or I can gain a life off this. So since I didn't choose the gain life mode, I'm gonna grab this and have an island. Okay, so now if I were to Doppelgang, we could do it for potentially X equals 2. I feel like 2 invasions isn't that good. Just because, like, I would just get the enter the battlefield. I wouldn't be able to flip them. Sacrifice a creature. I could sacrifice Bonnie. I could sacrifice this. I think it's safest to sacrifice Bonny here. Clinging to Dust, taking out my Time Warp. I don't actually recur Time Warp in this deck. They could draw another card off Cling to Dust. I can X equals 2 Doppelgang. Yeah, I have 5, 6, 7, 8 mana. So 2 plus 6. Okay, the Spirit's coming in. Makes me wonder if they have a bounce, or if they just want to draw a card, kill the Titan. It's one of those things where it's like, keeping the Titan alive allows me to get a big Doppelgang, but I do not trust them to not have a counter spell. Like, I know that they're going to want to flash out the Brazen Borrower in order to take me out like that, but who needs it? They would need to draw the card, yep, in order to kill the Titan, to get through in the air anyway. I think we go for Bonny. We draw a card, which gives them a blocker and lets them snipe. We go for the life gain land over trying to play the Swift Boots this turn. We lose a life, we gain a life. I'll grab a forest. Bonny Pall having reach. Relevant once again. This Teferi is getting a little close to ult, though. Always scary. But they don't have that much mana. Look at how much mana we have compared to them. They do have a Demolition Field. Keep track of that for our Hall of Storm Giants. Oh, hey! Other Davriels. This is the Davriel that has the offers and conditions. Now, this could give them, like, a permanent discount on all their spells. It might make them lose a little life. Alright, so they draw 3 and lose 6. That is a lot of payoff. And now Teferi is, in fact, at 11 loyalty. Remember how I was like, he's getting kind of close. I don't like that. They minused. Probably wish they minused first, but you never know what you're going to get on this. I know what I crave. I crave the big gang. Still a little worried, though. X equals 2? Do I want to go X equals 3? Like, it's risky either way, but I do believe in the heart of the cards. I grab some command towers here. Couple Rhino Warriors, maybe Invasion of Amonkhet. No, Invasion of Amonkhet drawing me the card is too dangerous. I'll grab another land. Oh wait, it should be a... No, it's island. You wouldn't have counterspell, would you? I put so much mana into that, and for what? If I had done it for X equals 2, we would have been fine. But no, I wanted 3 Orcish Bowmasters. Uh-oh. That is a breach of the multiverse. That's going to get the biggest creature planeswalker from both of our graveyards. From me? I mean, yeah. I mean, it could also be Titan. I would, you know, it's a 13/13 flying trample protection from instants. It kills people. Fairy Mastermind's evasive. Rusko has a lot of reach. I think, go for Rusko and, Big Girl. You wouldn't counter my spells, right? Oh, you would, huh? Oh, that's okay. How embarrassing, drawing a card and getting blocked by a 1/1 army. They're still making up their mind. Hello, Ashiok. Keneally. I haven't actually played Ashiok yet. Is it a disconnect? No, they were selecting. Alright, I think that they're going for a mix here of this gives me big trample and small blocker. Tasha could either plus or minus here. The minus, we can just give them like a little cruddy creature, but little cruddy creatures are still not bad. Yes, we have ways to give them trample off of, is it Garuk's Uprising, I think? But we just haven't drawn it yet. Would have to discard a card. So many blockers. And they're minusing 2. I will give them Scrap Gorge or Reclamation Sage. I'll give them Reclamation Sage. Boop. Yeah, me drawing cards is going to kill me. It'll be worth it. Giant. You can name Giant or Scout in this deck. There are both Giants and Scouts. Yeah. What are we making copies of? Except they're 4/4s. What are we making copies of except they're 4/4s? Fairy Mastermind? Rusko? Goose Mother. They're taking a very long time to decide. Didn't attack this. Oh, okay. You think that'll stop me? It won't. That's a land. Here's the bad news. I am dead. I can't even pay the 1 there, but I can pay the 1 here. Perfect way to die. GG, Ashiok. The Gitrog, Ravenous Ride. You giddy up on the Gitrog, but if you do, you might die, because he sacrifices the creatures that saddle him, or I guess I should say, He can if he deals combat damage and if you choose to. And then you draw cards equal to that creature's power. And you can put all the lands from your hand into play. I should say all, but you could put in pretty much all of them because it's based also on the power. I imagine that somebody out there is doing a version of Gitrog that's much more about like small recurable creatures. It's a regular sacrifice deck. Whereas my Gitrog Ravenous Ride deck was, hey, what's the biggest creature I can sacrifice? Ghalta? Love it. Bitter Triumph. They took out my turn 1 ramp, which is completely fair. Here's some turn 2 ramp. Whoa, wait. I don't know what this is. Lupine Prototype. Wolf Construct. Can't attack or block unless a player has no cards in hand. That is a 2-mana 5/5. I need to put this in my Gitrog deck. I didn't even see this card when I was looking for janky stuff. Oh, what sweet business! Chat's telling me I should let the dog bot win. I don't think I can let the dog bot win. I think I need to make a really big blocker with Bonny Pall so they can't get through. Oh, hi, Liliana. Are you gonna kill my Scrap Gorger?
When I win, you're telling me what you know about
Bye, Scrap Gorger.
one of your friends.
Ooh,
has to
Vista.
leave.
Here's Bonnie! And also Bo. If Gitrog could come out this turn, they have a tap land, so it won't be. I'd be able to just fully block the damage, so that's good. And just Restoration, sacrifice the land to get 3 more because they have this big dog. You think I should give him head pats? Okay. Pet, 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 pet. Such a good puppy. Who's ramping? You're ramping. It's a good dog.
You won't be
I'll drop the broker's hideout. Ooh, a Nissa. Or a bug. Bug. I'll swing both of these at Invasion of Zendikar. This is also a land. The reason I didn't start with Nissa is, like, the floating mana I wouldn't actually be able to do anything with. Alright, we could sacrifice this to get another land. Also, we have a counterspell, and a counterspell in hand. Or like a counter creature. This is an incredibly good, like, tempo kind of a card. I will crack open the Prismatic Vista to grab, it doesn't really matter. Zoop. Island? You think they'll have Veil of Summer? Because I would like 6 mana at the start of my next upkeep. Or no, main phase. Cool. GG, Mana Drain's not a fun or fair card. Tezzeret, Master of the Bridge. Tezzeret is an artifacts commander, and he uses the Claw to drain you for life based on the number of artifacts you control. I don't really have a way to deal with that other than destroying a couple of artifacts and enchantments. I'm not, like, great at doing that in this deck. And maybe countering them as they go. Ooh, that is the Primeval Titan. I will keep that on top. And I will just try to get lots of mana into play using Glimpse the Core and just Restoration, because that's a heck of a good card. Because this is a Dimir deck, they have access to kill spells and counter spells. So we should expect many of our things to be killed or countered as they play lots and lots of artifacts. Hello, what do we have? A Renowned Weaponsmith. Taps for 2 mana, but only 4 artifacts. I could hold the Memory Lapse, or the Ancestor Restoration, and the Tidebender. I think that just using these instants this turn will be the best move. These lands do come in tapped, though. Okay, Relic of Legends. I'm okay with that coming down. Like, it's really good. But it's not, like, a game-ending problem. Still have 4 mana. Hakon rules! Thank you for the sub! Or Haakon. Tidebender is very good against Planeswalkers. Because you can just, you know, shut down the ability and then remove all of its abilities. Looted Delta's getting cracked open. I could, by the way, Tidebender that. That's not really something I want to do. Also, I think they might have a counterspell. Could be forcing them to use it. There we go. Phyrexian Metamorph. It's going to come into play as a copy of something. Before that happens, I will turn this into more mana. Yeah, stifling fetch lands is certainly something that happens. I got a tapped land. So I guess we'll just hold our counter stuff here. Tidebenders and our memory lapses. There's enough mana for Teshar here. Now I'll go for the memory lapse. Because this has, like, a passive ability. Or, sorry, I'm thinking of this one. Because this one is, just, like, generally good card draw. So what's the reason to get rid of it? Oh, measure map. You should scry, even though you already know what's on top of your deck. Prime time! Bonnie's like, what about me? Bonnie, you can be countered for 1 mana and prime time can't. You get 2 lands. I'm thinking a critter land. Like a Restless Vinestalk. And I don't have any landfall in hand, so I don't really feel like I need something too crazy. Let's grab Nykthos for big ramp. Sundering Titan. I do, in fact, have forests and islands. They also have an island swamp, so they will have to destroy their own swamp. That's okay. Number goes up. Devotion goes up. Mana goes up. Bonnie goes up. Am I willing to sacrifice my Primeval Titan for 1 land? No. I think Sundering Titan and Primeval Titan are both banned cards in Commander. So listen, both of us are the problem. Ooh, here comes that Teshar from before. Ooh, Iron Crag. I'm just out here like, do I want to let them... Do I want to let them destroy more of my lands? Like, yeah, I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it. I'm gonna get more mana off my Nykthos. Bye, Teshar. Sigarda, Font of Blessings. If I remember right, this is the Sigarda that lets you play humans and angels off the top of your deck? Yes, it does! And it gives your other permanents hexproof. That seems awfully good. We have a little bit of ramp here. Lets me play an extra land off Kellen. I have a counter spell that I can hold for the next turn. And we have Harrow for more ramp. We could Harrow and hold up the counter spell. Paradise Druid. Cool. I'm actually going to do this now while they're tapped out. Grab a blue and a green. That way it doesn't look like I have a counter spell. But I'll be grabbing the shock land if we end up using this. Oracle Moldaya! That is definitely something worth countering. So we're gonna grab this Windswept Heath. Breeding Pool, shock it in, counter spell. Cool. Bonny. Boom. Pow. We got the Boo. We got the Bonny. And they have a Paradise Druid. Smothering Tithe. Every time I draw a card, I either pay 2 or they get a treasure. I'll pay the 2 this time. Ooh, that's a good land because it puts itself in the graveyard for me to bring back with Bonny. Also, I do draw a card off Bonny, but like, that's okay. Draw that. I will pay the 2. I guess I should have played that off the top when we saw it. 11 life remain because the cow and the woodcutter are doing a lot of damage. Could be a board wipe. My deck, rather than like protecting against board wipes, can counter against some of them, but also just can rebuild really, really quickly. Four mana, 1 dream. I wonder if they were like really just expecting me to give them a treasure. Okay, Swords to Plowshares on the cow. We draw. I pay the 2. Crack this open. Titan of Industry. I'm going to destroy that Smothering Tithe. Also, I think I'll put a shield counter on my Oracle. Oh, cute! Teferi's Protection. It just blanks the whole ability. I will name Giant. Oh boy, more lands. Oh, I should have paid the 3 on that. Then I could have played Girk's Uprising. Source to cow shares. Boo. Another bird outside. Scraps is so excited. So you can see the blue jays out the window and she's freaking out. Why does it counter to put counter ability? Because it doesn't actually target. It is just to put a shield counter on a creature you control, not to put it on a target creature you control. So I had 1 target. They invalidated the 1 target with the tithe, and so it went through. Do I pay the 2? Sure. Land. I guess it's a land. Trample. Also, more card draw. I can continue to pay the 2. We attack in. Keep on drawing. Sure, why not? I can still pay the 2. I have all of the mana in the world. Enough to destroy you. GG, Sigarda. Thank you so much for watching this episode of Brawl Stars. I had a lot of fun playing with Bonny Pall. She's big, she's strong, she ramps, and she's a good Simic commander. This deck is definitely a pretty good one because it takes some of the strongest things that happen to be in Brawl, a little bit of counter magic, a little bit of ramp, throws them together and lets you play with all this big, good stuff. Bonny Pall giving you multiple bodies on the field, card draw, and ramp is seriously some good abilities. If you're looking for my deck list, it's in the description of the video. And if you'd like to suggest a commander for me to build, let me know in the comments. You're also welcome to point out my terrible misplays in the comments, because I know I make them. I also want to say thank you to everybody who's been stopping by my Twitch channel. Twitch.tv/Amazonian is my main channel. It's where I do things like record these videos, and I get to have a lot of fun there. I did recently hit 25,000 subscribers over on YouTube, though, so soon I will be starting up the Brawl Stars Variety Hour. So if you submit a deck as part of that, don't worry, the instructions for all that will go live soon, and you want to see me play it live, it will be over on my Twitch channel. Not all of them will make it over to YouTube, it'll just be some of the videos, but it should be really, really fun. Thank you so much for watching, and have a brawlful day.